Right. Good afternoon, everyone. So we'll be starting immediately with the reading test. For today's session, we will be taking on different topics. First and foremost, in reading test, it is important I explain that IELTS examiners consider reading to be one of the simplest skills out of the 4 testing areas of IELTS exam. Remember, we have the listening, the reading, the writing, and the speaking test. Now, reading test, the reason it is considered to be the easiest is because if you are a fast reader, you can read any given passage as many times as possible, and your questions are often drawn from the passage. And of course, the answers are right there in the passages. So IELTS examiners always feel that if you're a fast reader and you are good in reading, all you need to do is to read the question carefully, read the passages as many times as possible, and get your answers. Your answers are just there, and they are fixed. So when you get the answers right, they are 100% correct, as long as you follow strictly what the instruction stipulates. Now, because of this idea of the IELTS body and the examiners, the marking scheme for IELTS reading test is usually very strict. So if you must have a good band score in reading test, you are expected to score at least 30/40. This would place you within the band range of 6.5 and 7.0. So it is a good score for you if you're able to hit 7.0 in reading test. Of course, it requires a lot of work. You need to improve on your skimming skills. You need to improve on your scanning skills. You need to improve on your paraphrasing skills. You need to improve on your jotting, labeling, and making note skills. You need to improve on your ruling or crossing out skills. You need to improve on your underlining skills. These are things that would help you. These are techniques that would help you to actually get your answers right and complete your reading within the allotted time frame, which is usually 60 minutes. Now, part of the reasons a lot of people perform poorly in their reading test is because they always try to follow the reading test faithfully, taking it from question 1 down to 40. It might pose a lot of difficulty for some persons. On the other hand, it might be easier for some people because by standard in education, we are taught that learning should follow the order of simple to complex, known to unknown. So by standard of the structure of reading test, the first sections or passages are usually simpler than the ones that would follow. So because of this, some persons tend to just want to follow it from 1 to 40. However, there are chances that if you take it from 1 to 40, you may find the first section a little difficult. Some persons have tried this approach and they end up getting stuck within the first 5 questions, and they spent a whole lot of time that made them unable to actually finish their reading test. Secondly, reading test covers a number of topics that you really need to understand, so you decide whether to follow it 1 to 40 or follow the reading test or take on the reading test by tackling them according to their topics. When you open your reading test booklet, you might want to quickly scan through to see if there are topics that you are 100% conversant with. So you are able to take on them first before going to those ones that you find a little difficult to handle. So today we shall take on certain topics so you begin to understand how these topics appear and how to tackle their questions. So we shall take on summary answers, short answers, sentence completion, locating and identifying information. So I would be sharing I'll be sharing my screen actually, and from there we'll be able to understand some of these topics and how their questions are set and how to locate the answers in the passages. All right, so to begin, let me share my screen very okay. Please confirm that you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I see it's tiny.
Okay, it's a bit tiny. All right, just a moment. Let me try to do something. Is it better now?
It's still tiny.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better.
Is it better?
Yes.
Okay, so this is an extract. Now, in this extract, we are to read this passage, this extract or passage, and answer a couple of questions from them. So I will read very quickly, then bring in the questions, and then I'll also have us understand how these answers come in. So I'm reading. There is no denying that flexible working has grown enormously in recent years. It does, however, require careful management. When it comes to implementing flexible working on flexible working, one word is key: trust. All flexible workers should be trusted and given well-defined objectives from the start, and their contribution should be assessed according to their output, as opposed to the time they spend on the job. It can be a big step to implement such a change in your business. So if you are slightly cautious, then I recommend perhaps setting up an end of the day review to see how much progress has been made. As all parties find their feet with the new setup, this contact can be slowly reduced. In my eye.
Hello, sir. Hello,
Yes,
sir.
please.
Yes, we don't have a paragraph.
Pardon?
The screen is not showing the passage. The passage of reading is, we don't have that.
Oh, really? Okay. Let me take that again. Can you see the screen now?
Okay. Yes.
Right.
It's quite tiny. Okay.
It's tiny.
It's okay. Okay. It's fine.
All right. So I would read. There is no denying that flexible working has grown enormously in recent years. It does, however, require careful management. When it comes to implementing flexible working, one word is key: trust. All flexible workers should be trusted and given well-defined objectives from the start, and their contributions should be assessed according to their outputs, as opposed to the time they spend on the job. It can be a big step to implement such a change in their business. So if you are slightly cautious, then I recommend perhaps setting up an end of the day review to see how much progress has been made. As all parties find their feet with the new setup, this contact can slowly be reduced. In my eye, it is also vital that there is shared calendar access for everyone so that people can see where their colleagues are each day. This way, if they need to catch up with someone, they can plan when to do so. Technology now exists to enable employees to stay in touch with other members of staff and external partners. iMeet, for example, is a tool which allows all forms of collaboration for remote working, from video conferencing, live chat, and file sharing to screen sharing. The new breed of workers is therefore fully equipped to work productively away from the office and can still feel like they are in the same room as others when necessary. In my experience, employees are often more productive working at home, as they can work the exact hours they want and do not have to cope with distractions caused by other employees. Being outside the confines of the office walls also appears to foster creativity. In addition, we find staff are more motivated as they have a better work-life balance. In terms of the business, we find this helps with top talent recruitment and staff retention, and a happy workforce is a more successful one. All right, so this is a passage. I will quickly bring in the question so we are able to look at what we have done. But please, we're going to do a little bit of back and forth, bringing in the passage and the question. Now, what we just treated is what we call short answers. So for short answers, you are expected to follow the instruction very strictly and provide your answers according to how they appear. In most cases, short answers will require you to provide one. So let's have the question. All right, so I'm sharing my screen again. Please, can we see the screen?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, so the instruction here says choose one word only from the text for each answer. Write your answers in boxes 21 to 27. That means you have to provide these answers in questions 21 to 27 on your answer sheet. So the title of the passage is Flexible Working. Now, for short answers or summary answers, the questions would always come with some subheadings to give you a clue on where to go to get your answers. As you can see on the screen, the subheading here is how to organize flexible working. So if we are to go back to the passage we have read, you would see where that is, flexible working. So I want you to actually understand how these things work. So it says, when it comes to implementing flexible working, please, can we see it?
Yeah.
This is where you are to focus on when you are searching for your answer at this point. So this is where you begin to look for your answer when it comes to flexible working. So let's go to the question. So here the question says how to organize flexible working. Trust your employees. Provide them with clear dash. I will take us back to the passage. Please don't forget this question. Trust the employees. That's the first bullet point. The second bullet point says provide them with clear, then dash. So let's see what they are supposed to be provided with according to the passage. So it says when it comes to implementing flexible working, one word is key. What's that word? Trust. In the question, we have trust as what we have on the first bullet point, right? Then it says further, all flexible workers should be trusted and given well-defined objectives from the start, and their contributions should be assessed according to their output, as opposed to the time they spend on the job. Who can spot the answer here? Should I open the question again?
Clear objectives.
Clear
objectives.
Now, the question says well-defined dash. Well-defined, sorry, the question says clear dash. And the paraphrase of clear is well-defined. So they will always paraphrase keywords in the passage when you go to the question section. So if you are not good with your paraphrase, you'll be confused to identify where your answer is. So clear objectives and well-defined objective is the same thing. So your answer, which requires one word, is objectives. Please, is this clear to us?
Yes, sir.
So let's go to the next question. The next question is, initially have a dash of progress each day. Initially have a dash of progress each day. So let's look at the passage and identify what we are required to provide. Oops. Initially have a dash of progress each day. Now, the answers for short and summary answers, as well as sentence completions, the answers are usually in the descending order. So from where you get your first answer, you have to continue from there to get the next answers. Keep reading downwards and your answers will keep coming in. So let's see. It can be a big step to implement such a change in your business. So if you are slightly cautious, then I recommend perhaps setting up an end of the day review to see how much progress has been made. Do you think the answer can be here?
Yes.
What's the answer? Review is the answer. Review is the answer. So the question says, initially have a dash of progress each day. So the passage paraphrased progress each day to
end of the review.
Exactly. An end of the day review. So this is where your answer is. Please, do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
So your answer is just here.
Review. One word.
Just one word. Right? So this is our answer. And this was paraphrased. End of day review. So most times you want to look at the keywords because that's what they will always paraphrase. With that, you easily identify what the true answer is. All right, let's go to the next question. Next question says, make sure a dash is accessible to give details of colleague or colleague locations. Make sure a dash is accessible to give details of colleague location. So let's see what the passage has. Right, can we read from the next paragraph? In my eyes, it is also vital that there is shared calendar access for everyone so that people can see where their colleagues are each day. The answer? Calendar. Please, are we following?
Yes, sir.
Now, the question, let me draw you back to what the question says, and you understand, or you can understand how the paraphrasing was done. The question here says, make sure a dash is accessible. This word accessible in the passage is paraphrased to shared access. Shared access. That's to tell you, in reading test, paraphrasing is very high, extremely high. So you want to be attuned with that. So accessible, and it says to give details of colleagues' location. You would see this, the paraphrased version of colleagues' location. In the passage, it is expressed as
The colleagues are.
Where the colleagues are.
Um,
That's the paraphrase. Where the colleagues are. So if you're able to understand that where the colleagues are simply means the location of colleagues, then you are good to go. Accessible, shared access. Then what is missing? Calendar. So please, you have to pay attention to all of these when you are reading. Now the next question says, use a program such as iMeet to encourage different types of dash between workers. So when you look at this word iMeet, you would realize that anywhere you go to in the passage, your concentration should be looking for iMeet. Hold on just a moment. Okay, please, can you see my screen?
Yeah, but not the back.
Okay, just a moment. I'll get that back up. All right, I think it's up. So here, you can see the word iMeet. So this is the word that will give you a clue where your answer should be. Now it says iMeet, for example, is a tool which allows all forms of collaboration for remote working, from video conferencing, live chat, and file sharing to screen sharing. So what is our answer? Our answer is what?
Two.
Is it two? Are you sure?
The question seems.
Okay, so let's look at this guy right here.
Collaboration. Yeah.
Collaboration. Collaboration should be what you want to consider as your answer, because when we go to the question, it says make sure, okay, sorry, use a program such as iMeet to encourage different types of, so it cannot be tools, it should be collaboration between workers.
Yes.
Please, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Look at it here. Between workers. So collaboration is your correct answer. All right, so let's go to the next question. Okay. So here we have Just a moment. So the next question here says, less dash from colleagues. Now, there is a subheading here that will help you to easily know where to begin to look for your answers. So the subheading is benefits of flexibility. So under benefits of flexibility, you are now expected to get your answers. So here we have the passage again. So I would read. The new breed of worker is therefore fully equipped to work productively away from the office and can still feel like they are in the same room as others when necessary. In my experience, employees are often more productive working at home as they can work the exact hours they want and do not have to cope with distraction caused by other employees. Now let's look at, let's see what the question says. Less dash from colleagues. Less dash from colleagues. What is being referred to there?
Distractions.
It is talking about distractions. Distractions. So please don't forget that. Distractions. So you have this guy right here as your answer. Caused by other employees. Other employees paraphrase to colleagues. Yeah, so this is how it works. So we shall go straight to the next. So here it says increase in dash. Increase in dash.
Productivity.
Increase in So being outside the confines of the office walls also appears to foster creativity. In addition, we find staff are more motivated as they have a better work-life balance. So here, the question says, increase in dash. So we have increase in can we see creativity?
Yes, creativity. Yes.
Increase in creativity. So the increase is paraphrased to foster. So next question. Greater success for the company with staff recruitment and dash. Greater success for company with staff recruitment and dash. We find staff are more motivated as they have a better work-life balance. In terms of the business, we find this helps with top talent recruitment and staff retention, and a happy workforce is a more successful one. Our answer?
Retention.
Our answer can be found here.
Retention.
Retention. So you would notice that the answers to these questions are in the chronological order. So they keep coming down. All you need is to ensure you understand where your first answer is set to be gotten from. So from there, you keep reading and keep coming down. So that would help you to avoid doing back and forth search for answers, as a lot of test takers will do, and this ends up eating up a lot of their time. The answers are usually supposed to be in a descending order. Right, so I'm going to put together another exercise. We'll go through that and spot our answers, then I'll give you a task.